My name is Nikki. I'm a cam girl, but I recently asked you guys if you would be interested in a Q&A video, and you said yes, so I'm here to do that. Hopefully you will be able to learn a little bit more about me and kind of see that I'm not a big meanie, I swear. Alright, so, I have the pictures of the questions upwards, so, you know, I'm asking God, I'm trying to see what the questions are. Firstly, how did you meet your boyfriend and girlfriend? Okay, so, my girlfriend, I met her through my boyfriend. She was already with my boyfriend. Her and I actually started dating him around the same time, so I met him through going to shows, obviously. I had followed him on social media for a while. We kind of like mutually followed each other. And I had met him just at like a meet and greet, and it was no big deal, whatever. A couple years later, I hit him up on Instagram and like told him that I was coming out to a show, and I was really excited to see him, whatever. And we kind of just like stood around and hung out afterwards, and we were just kind of talking, you know, flirting back and forth a little bit, and we just kept messaging. He gave me his number, and that's kind of what happened. We ended up talking and deciding that we wanted to get in a relationship with each other, and that we did actually like each other, so that happened. And I found out about Eris probably, I don't know, I think it was like a few months before I moved out here. I kind of assumed that she was his girlfriend, but I didn't ask. You know, he was very open about it, but I just didn't really care to ask, honestly. But her and I ended up moving in together, and that's kind of just how I met her. We had been texting back and forth before that, and we got along really well, so us moving in together was no big deal. It worked out really well, honestly. So that's about it. I met her through him, and met him at a show. How did I get into doing cam shows and whatnot? Okay, so started off, I was on Tumblr, and I had been aware of like my free cams and just cam girls in general around the time I turned 18, and pretty much as soon as I turned 18, I was like, I want to show my titties on the internet. And so for a decent amount of time, I was just kind of like offering nudes and stuff like that. I wasn't camming. I made an account on my free cams, but honestly, I think I was like too afraid. I didn't have the confidence just yet to be able to do that, and I didn't really understand how the site worked. I didn't understand how to market myself, so I kind of just held off on it out of fear, and just continued to like sell nudes and stuff like that through Tumblr. And there are actually a few people that follow me now and come and do shows with me that have known me since Tumblr, so that's interesting. But so yeah, that a few years later, when I had met my boyfriend and everything, I was talking to him about it, how I was interested in it, but I had never really done it, you know, and that I was afraid because I didn't know really what to do. I didn't know anyone that was in the industry, so I kind of felt like, I don't know, I was a little overwhelmed, I guess. And he actually put me in contact with someone who was already camming, and she was awesome. She was such a fucking huge help. She helped me get situated, she helped me like understand and learn the ropes and everything, and it was honestly a lot easier than I expected it to be. I really overthinked the whole thing. Overthinked. But yeah, so that's kind of how that ball got rolling. She's kind of like a mentor. She's really cool. And here I am. I've kind of learned my own way of things as time has gone by, and now this is what I do all the time. Do I like latex? Yeah, I think latex is awesome. I have a very small amount of it, and I don't really wear it that often, because if you've ever messed with latex, it's really annoying. You have to clean it and like wash it when you're done, and then when you put it on, you're all looby, and it's just, it's really inconvenient, and I really don't like wearing it unless it's like for photos or for a video or something. Plus I have cats, so it's a nightmare. But I do enjoy it. I do think it's really cool. Buy me more latex. Duh. Let's see. What is the most dirty thing I've done on camera? That is not a safe for work question, so I'm not answering it. How did I first get into the alternative lifestyle, BDSM, cam life, polyamory? Okay, this is a few part of a question. Okay, firstly, I'll start with the poly question. I, from a very young age, was interested in what was polyamory. I didn't really know what it was called. I didn't really know anything about it when I was young. I guess I was interested in it. I thought it was cool. When I was in like 4th or 5th grade, I went to a summer camp, and there was this guy that me and my friend both really liked, and the guy ended up asking me out, and I told him that I would date him if he also dated my friend, because I knew my friend liked him, and I thought it would be fun. So, you know, child me was running around with a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and you know, we didn't do anything but like hold hands, but from a very early age, I was like, hey, this is cool. And then through like middle school and stuff, I had watched like polygamous documentaries, and I read into it a lot. I thought it was very interesting. In 2016, perhaps? I don't know. Maybe a little before that. I don't know. It was while I was living in Colorado. I got into another polyamorous relationship. I was inserted into a relationship that was already happening, a boy and a girl. I was brought into that relationship. And it worked really well for the first couple months. I loved it. You know, her and I were both on the same page. We really enjoyed it. We had a great time. But it kind of became apparent that that wasn't really what he wanted. And so it kind of crumbled. It did not end pretty, unfortunately. However, I still knew that that's something that I wanted to do, you know, so I don't know. I just, like I said, from a very early age, I was interested in it, and it just kind of presented itself in my life in numerous different situations, and this relationship is no different. Obviously, when I got into this relationship, I knew that he had other relationships, but I didn't think that it would be so communal, I guess. I didn't think it would be so, I don't know, I didn't think I'd be hanging out with another girlfriend. I didn't think I'd be living with one. But I'm happy about it, and I'm overjoyed that that's actually how things ended up working, and that that's actually like what he wanted to do anyways. Works in my favor. I'm very happy. So yeah, I don't know. Cam life, I answered that. You know, I was on Tumblr, and I found out about sex work through Tumblr, and then eventually found the right people to help me kind of weather the storm and figure out how to actually do it. As far as BDSM, again, Tumblr, through kind of high school, I knew that it was interesting. I knew that I kind of liked the power exchange. I liked the idea of bruises and marks and stuff like that. But I don't know, I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. I've always been someone that like loved theme parks. I love scary movies. I love haunted houses. I like that adrenaline rush. I like getting spooked a little. So for me, BDSM is very similar to that. And I'm a giant crybaby, so being able to kind of have a safe place to work through emotions and cry and scream and kind of get it all out is really cathartic for me, and it's really helpful, and I enjoy it. And that's about it. Do I still get a lot of backlash for my relationship? Thank you for your support. I don't really get like personal backlash. Like, no one messages me and says shit to me. I get the occasional like anonymous question being just annoying, and it's clear that people just like don't really know what's going on. But honestly, nowadays it's just support. I get support from people, and I don't really hear anything else. But I don't really seek out people that don't agree with my relationship. I'm happy in it, and that's all that matters. So I don't care what other people think, and honestly, no one really comes to me about their disapproval for my relationship, so whatever. How long until you became comfortable with polyamory? I have always been pretty comfortable with polyamory. As my previous question, or my previous answer stated, been into it for a really long time, so I've always been cool with it. Obviously, you know, there are bouts of jealousy, and I don't know, that's really normal. That's a normal human emotion. What matters is how you react and how you treat that feeling. And that's one of the biggest things, is there has to be a lot of communication and a lot of trust, and everyone really needs to be open and say what they feel, mean what they say what they mean, and I value those things in relationships already, so this just kind of heightens those values. And yeah, I like it. If you don't already think you're into it, then you probably aren't, and that's okay. But, you know, from my experience, I already knew that that was something I was interested in, so when the opportunity came to me, I was very eager for it. Tips for your first time if your potential partner likes it rough. Communication, really. Sit down ahead of time, figure out what you do and don't like, your limits, your hard limits, where you're as far as you're willing to go, figure out, you know, a safe word, obviously, figure out, just figure out how far you're willing to go, really, and trust that person. Really, truly trust that person. And that's really about it. I don't know, like I said, it's really about just communication, so just communicate. Communicate. And don't do it just because you think they want you to do it, because that just causes issues, and why would you do that? I don't know. People, you just want to have a fun time with someone, so be upfront and honest, and have a good time. It's exciting. Have a good time. Do you think porn is art, or art's main radical theme has become porn? Well, I think that some of it can be artistic, but most of it is just filth. Some of it can be artistic, and I've seen a lot of girls that do some really, really beautiful photo sets, and they do some really cool videos, and they put a lot of effort into it, and it can be artistic. Do I think that it's become the main focus of art? Not necessarily. but I guess that's kind of a personal opinion for most people. I don't know, everyone's different. Where did I find the kitten? This took a nice little turn. Okay, where did I find the kitten? I did not find it. My boyfriend found it, actually. There's this abandoned house a couple houses down from where we live, and I don't know, there was this like pregnant cat running around the house, or running around the yard, that obviously we knew she was gonna have babies soon, but we didn't know where they would be. We didn't know anything, and then she came back one day to get food, because we feed the kitties that are outside. And I don't know, she wasn't pregnant anymore, so we obviously assumed that she had her babies. And we kind of just waited to see if she would either bring them to our yard or if we could follow her and see where she brought them. And she kept going to that abandoned house a lot, so we assumed that that's where they were. And we only found that one. He went into that house and he found just the one, just the teeniest little black bean, and brought it back. And it was really cute because we were actually, I was cleaning or like moving furniture or something. I was like doing something with my room, and he came in and walked down and like stood in the doorway and was just like holding this teeny little baby, looking at me like, oh my god, it's a baby. And I immediately just like, my poor heart, you know, this teeny tiny little fur ball in this man's hands. It was so cute. But yeah, so we found him in an abandoned house, completely alone in the middle of the ground. So he's a very lucky little bean. My ideal number of cats, and are there any other pets that I want? My ideal number of cats are, you know, I don't know. I think it just depends on how big of a place you have. Right now, my house has 4? Yeah, 4 cats. We have 4 cats. But our house is pretty spacious, and it's a 2-story, so there's plenty of space for them. So I don't know, I think it just kind of depends on how much space you have, and if you're able to feed and upkeep the vet bills and keep their litter boxes clean and whatnot, you know? Gotta take care of them. As long as you can do that and you have the space for them, then have as many as you want, really. Any other pets that I want? I really want a snake. I've wanted a snake for a very long time. However, my boyfriend does not like snakes at all. So I don't think I'm getting a snake anytime soon. Plus now I have so many these kitties running around that I don't really want to do that anyways. I also, speaking of cats, I really want a hairless cat. It's very cliche, but I want a hairless cat. So one day, we'll see. What music do I jam when I'm feeling myself the most? This is a hard question. This is a hard question. I guess it really depends on how I'm feeling myself, you know what I mean? I listen to a lot of different genres, a lot of different kinds of music, but primarily if I'm gonna sit and play something, it's probably gonna be something with synths or some sort of upbeat dance music, because I enjoy that. Sometimes, you know, I like to light some candles or some incense and like turn on, you know, some low lights and kind of play like Odessa or Slow Magic or something like that and kind of just chill out and not really think about too much. But on my own volition, I will just put shuffle on my phone and let it go, and that plays anything from like The Weeknd to New Order to The Misfits to fucking Kevin Gates to Lady Gaga. It's just, it's kind of all over the place. To Elvis. I don't know. I listen to a lot of different music, so it just kind of depends, honestly. How many kitties do I have, and what are their names? Okay, well, I have 4 of them. Personally, I only have 1, and she has disappeared from behind me. But her name is Artemis. She's the little gray one. And then Eris has 2 cats. One of them is named Feather, and the other one is named Zuzu, but we call him Bingo. And we have the little bean that we have yet to officially name. So, there's also an outdoor cat named Larry that just kind of comes into our house and hangs out, and like sometimes we'll sleep here. He's not our cat, he just hangs out here. And then we have a dog named Poe. He's my boyfriend's dog, not really mine. I mean, I guess by default, now I take care of him, so he's now kind of also my dog, but not my dog. And I think that's everything. I think that's all the questions. So, that being said, I hope I answered those well enough for you all. I don't know, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed getting a peek into my brain and get some questions answered. So, have a good one. Bye, everybody.